Now, one of the biggest dilemma the deputy president William Samoei Ruto is facing in this country is actually the choice of the running mate. Who will be his running mate in 2022? And how will the choice of the running mate affect his presidential bid in 2022? Because remember, in this country, the Central Kenya region are expecting nothing less than a running mate from the deputy president William Samoei Ruto. And in Western Kenya, we've witnessed the allies of the deputy president also pushing for one of their own to be nominated as a running mate. So the running mate equation is one problem which the deputy president is dealing with. And over the weekend, the deputy president was actually, last week, the deputy president was actually at the coastal region in Mombasa. And the deputy president, for the first time, indicated that he's likely to choose a woman as his running mate. And that announcement by the deputy president actually came as a surprise and as a shock. And that announcement by the deputy president actually came as a surprise to many Kenyans, because many Kenyans had actually narrowed down to the possible choices for the running mate which the deputy president was considering. So today I want us to look at the deputy president, the choice of a woman as a running mate, and how it's going to affect him in 2022. But before we do that, if you are watching this video for the first time, please, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Now, back to the main issue. How will the choice of the running mate affect the deputy president? And now that he has opted to go for a woman. And someone was asking me whether that choice is good. And I told the person that for me, I don't think the deputy president will eventually opt for a woman. But I don't want to rule out the possibility of the deputy president going for a woman as his running mate. But that announcement by the deputy president has actually affected several people. Moses Kuria, for example, was banking on being appointed as the running mate for the deputy president. And now that the deputy president has decided to go for a woman, it means Moses Kuria is out of equation. So I don't know how Moses Kuria is going to deal with this new development, especially in the larger Central Kenya region. And by the way, where is Moses Kuria? I've not seen Moses Kuria for the past almost 3 weeks now. Where is Moses Kuria? The other person who is going to be affected by this move is actually Mwangi Kiunjuri. Mwangi Kiunjuri was kicked out of government or of cabinet because of his allegiance and support for the deputy president. And it was anticipated that Mwangi Kiunjuri was going to leave government, form his own political party, and then later on be appointed as the running mate to the deputy president. Because without that running mate thing, or without Mwangi Kiunjuri running, I don't think he has a future in Central Kenya politics. So Mwangi Kiunjuri is also going to be affected. Who else? Musalia Mudavadi. At some point, Musalia Mudavadi indicated that he was willing to work with the deputy president. And the fact of the matter is that the deputy president is currently the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. He can't be a running mate again. So he can only be a presidential candidate. So which means if Musalia Mudavadi were to work with the deputy president, then it means he was going to be the running mate. And that's now out of equation. So those three gentlemen are actually the ones which are affected the most by the move by the deputy president William Samoei Ruto. But how is this move to appoint a woman going to affect the deputy president? Before we get into that, and also the possible women who are likely to be chosen, before we get into that, a friend of mine who is also a subscriber to this channel has actually come up with a solution which I thought I should actually share with you guys here on this platform. We all know that there are so many Kenyans in the diaspora who do want to get spouses back home. And also there are so many Kenyans locally here who do want to get spouses from the diaspora. So my friend has come up with the Kenyan matches. Through Kenyan matches, you'll be able to get the right spouses. Kenyan matches will help you get the right spouse. It will also help you, for example, those who are in the diaspora, you understand this, to sort out these illegal immigrant issues. So at a cost of $16 per month, you'll be able to get access to several matches through that platform. And if you feel that's expensive, then you can opt for the $8 weekly. So in a week, I'm sure if you are serious, in a week, if you pay 800 bob, then you can get the right spouse. So it will help you sort out this. And what are some of the advantages of this platform? It is secure. Your data will not be shared with any other person. No third party will access your data. And because it's based on location, nobody will cheat you ako Canada, na the guy kumbe ako tu hapa Githurai. So that one will be sorted out. But what you need to do is you must be real. That's the first thing. If you have to put your photo on that platform, because that's a requirement, then that photo must be your real photo. Because the idea here is to get a genuine expectation. If you are Lee Makweny the way I am here, then I must put my photo there so that if someone is pleased with me, then that's me. Not putting a photo which is not yours, then sazile mekutana, then you realize, okay, kumbe this is not the person I was. And again, the most important thing is that you expect genuine results. So genuine results will mean there must be honesty. So you must be yourself. So I want you guys to take your time and log in to check out that website. And for those who are capable, it doesn't apply to everybody, but I know so many, because this channel has subscribers across. There are many people who would be interested. So just log into the website and then try. Now, back to the main issue. Who is likely to be appointed as the running mate to the deputy president William Samoei Ruto in 2022? Who is this lucky woman? Before we go into the list of the possible choices, what are the possible reasons why the deputy president is now opting for a woman? Because I know, and I've always said on this platform, that in politics, everything is normally intended to achieve specific political objectives. Why would the deputy president now opt for a woman? In my view, the deputy president is opting for a woman because of 5 reasons. Number 1 is the tribal arithmetics. One of the biggest headache for the deputy president has actually been the tribal arithmetic. Who is going to become his deputy president, his running mate? And where is he going to come from? Is he going to come from Central Kenya? And if that person will come from Central Kenya, how will the rest of the country react? Is it possible that Kenyans will not have a problem with a Kikuyu becoming a president and a challenging a running mate for 10 years? Then again, you switch a Kikuyu, a running mate, and a challenging a president. So that's one of the biggest headache the deputy president has been facing. And the other headache is that the deputy president has been dangling the running mate to even the lawyer allies. So how are these guys going to take this? So to solve that, the deputy president is opting for a woman. A woman, say for example, the deputy president opts for Anne Waiguru or even Martha Karua as the running mate. That will solve that equation, because the running mate, a woman running mate, would be sold as a woman, not as a tribe. But remember, if the woman will come from Central Kenya, the people of Central Kenya will see her as one of their own. If she will come from Western Kenya, they'll view her as one of their own first. But nationally, the running mate can actually be packaged as a woman. And remember, in this country, the number of women voters in this country cannot be underrated. There are so many. So if the women can be united by possibility of one of their own becoming the president, then they'll come out regardless of their tribes. So the choice of a woman will help the deputy president solve these tribal arithmetics. So that if it's Martha Karua, she will be projected as Martha Karua as a woman, not as Martha Karua a Kikuyu. Unlike if we were to go for Moses Kuria. If the choice was Moses Kuria, the rest of Kenyans will view Moses Kuria as a Kikuyu. Those are the realities of politics. Number 2 is loyalty. Women are more loyal than men. And that's why in this country today, if you look around, counties where we have the governor as a man and the running mate as a woman, in those counties, most of them don't have problems. But where we have a man as a governor and a man as a deputy governor, we've always had issues. Apart from Nyeri, where I think the governor and where the governor and the deputy governor are having problems. But in most cases, women are known to be loyal. So they'll always submit and perform their duties. So the deputy president will basically serve the country as the president without looking back of a possibility of this guy plotting against him. Remember, Uhuru Kenyatta and the deputy president were some of the most dynamic duos we've ever had in this country. But because of mistrust, because of loyalty issues, these guys had to part ways. And today they are not even seeing eye to eye. In fact, yesterday, the deputy president link was cut off. And I'm getting details about that. We are going to look at that. So women are more loyal. So the deputy president probably is looking for loyalty. He has realized that some of the politicians, men, are not loyal based on the betrayal he faced in the hands of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Number 3, the women votes. Women voters are more loyal, are more reliable than any other votes. If you rely on youths, for example, youths will dump you anytime. I've been involved in campaigns, even at the local level, at the constituency level, at the county level, even at the presidential level. The most loyal and reliable voting bloc is the women. So if the women in this country can decide that the deputy president has given us a running mate and we want to vote for them, the women will stick. If they decide, that is if they agree. You know, women normally, when they tell you watakupea kitu, you rest assured. That's exactly what will happen. But men, you can't trust. I've seen youths here, a candidate banking on youths. Watu wa boda boda, every time akikuja wanamklapia. When it comes to the elections day, especially during party nominations, the women are the ones carrying kids on their back and lining up. So women voting bloc is reliable. So probably the deputy president has a strategy of winning the hearts of the women through this nomination through these running mate nominations. Number 4 is funding. I want to tell you one thing. Politics is a very huge and big venture. Even if you have money the way the deputy president has, sometimes you will still need extra money. So globally, there's always funds for women. So there are so many women organizations in this world, globally, who do put their money as long as there's a possibility of a woman running mate. So they'll pump lots of money in that campaign. And that's the reality. In this country, even the women who contested for the gubernatorial seats, they got fundings from those women organizations. So by nominating a woman, I can assure you that the deputy president is also expecting a lot of donations. Number 5, I think the deputy president is also using this to rally women against the Building Bridges initiative. That's the reality. Why would the deputy president say now that he's going to appoint a woman as his running mate? We all know that the deputy president has been on overdrive in his attempts to oppose the Building Bridges initiative. So he's likely to use this to rally women. Remember, the church is already behind him. He's now trying women and the youths. So by dangling the BBI, then it's likely telling these guys that in this country, we only need a president and a running mate. So that when we have a running mate as a woman, then that person will be more powerful than when we have several other slots. But who are likely to be appointed as the running mate to the deputy president? Who are these women? Number 1 on my list is actually Alice Wahome. I think Alice Wahome is likely to be the running mate to the deputy president, if that running mate is going to be a woman. Alice Wahome has some reform credentials in this country. And we've witnessed how Alice Wahome has been defensive of the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto, in this country. Probably she had been promised this, and that's why she's been unmoved to an extent that Alice Wahome even could take President Uhuru Kenyatta head on in Murang'a. So I think the first choice would be Alice Wahome. Number 2 on my list is Martha Karua. Martha Karua has stated severally that given a choice between William Ruto and Raila Odinga, he would make that choice without blinking her eyes. She would go for Raila Amolo Odinga. But you know, politics is about interest. So today, if the deputy president would give Martha Karua or would offer Martha Karua the running mate slot. Politics is interest. My friends, I can assure you, Martha Karua will run and grab that opportunity. And by grabbing that opportunity, Martha Karua is going to bring to the deputy president something which is unique. She has the reform credentials. She's not tainted much. And also Martha Karua is a no-nonsense person. Add that to the deputy president character. So it means kuiba kura zao will be very difficult in 2022. So Martha Karua is in that list. Then there is Purity Ngereche, the Kirinyaga women rep. Because I'm looking around at the choices the deputy has. The lady is coming up because she comes from central Kenya. She has the ability to mobilize. But beyond that, I don't see any value she will add to that campaign. But just but just the fact that she's a woman. Remember, the other day, she was kicked out as a chairperson of the KEPAWA, the Kenya Women KEWOPA. Yeah, KEWOPA, Kenya Women Parliamentary Association, KEWOPA. She was kicked out of that. And I read politics in her kicking out. Number 4 is Susan Kihika. But I'm ruling out Susan Kihika because apart from the fact that she's a Kikuyu, she comes from Rift Valley. Nakuru County is in Rift Valley. It will be difficult for Kenyans to vote Ruto and Kihika, both of them from Rift Valley. It will be very difficult. So I want to rule Susan Kihika out. And then there is Aisha Juma, the Kilifi Member of Parliament. Currently, she's facing a lot of challenges. But if you look at the Team Tanga Tanga, all of it, who else apart from the ones I've mentioned? And when William Ruto was busy with the women empowering program, Aisha Juma took a leading role. And the fact that Aisha Juma comes from the coastal people will really be excited at the prospect of one of their own becoming a running mate. So I think those are the people who are likely to be appointed as the running mate. I don't know what to think. Do you think there's any other person who can be appointed as the running mate to the deputy president William Samoei Ruto? Let me know in the comment section. But from my view, these are the people who are likely to be appointed as the running mate. And if you're watching this video for the first time, please take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day.